Welcome to the Creative Cash Flow Show. I'm your host, Jesse Mills, and thank you for joining us where we talk every week about how to create lifestyle and financial freedom through real estate secrets. And in this show, I'm bringing to you today an awesome guest. I'll tell you what, guys, if you are a wholesaler, if you're a flipper, if you are in the business of buying and selling real estate, this is someone that you have got to hear from. My good friend, Mark Kole, who is the founder and creator of Property Source. Now, Property Source, guys, is an amazing white label opportunity where you can basically find properties all over the country, all over the world that are off market. Okay, these are deals. Basically, think of the MLS, but off market, right? Where do you have that? Normally, you've got just a couple people in your neighborhood, your city, your market, right? But you're not able to find deals throughout the state, throughout the region, throughout the country, even internationally. And so Mark here is going to be telling us all about his amazing software and how you guys can get kind of tied into this and get access to properties through him, through myself, and start seeing stuff all over the world, which is super, super cool. So again, Property Source, and Mark's going to tell you all about it. Can't wait for you to join us. So welcome to the Creative Cash Flow Show. Time to tune in.
We want to be, as you said, the next MLS for the off-market industry. And we want every investor to feel welcome, whether you do one deal a year or you're going to do some deals and you just want to get a feel for pricing. If you're just learning, actually the people who are just learning are probably the best candidates for this because it does do the contracting. It kind of step by steps you through the whole process. And also it manages your inventory. So if you have bought one or two properties or 10 properties or whatever you have, you can actually load them into this platform, into your own account. And you don't even have to click a button to make them available for anyone else to buy. You can just hold them in your holdings so you kind of know what you have. And when you're ready to sell it, perfect example is somebody buying a house or a property that they're ready to, they're gonna fix and flip it. But they're not ready today because you just bought it. And you can go on, you can type it in. And if you start to type in the address, we're connected with a national database of tax. It's the tax assessor file is what we call it. So basically, we're connected with 3,300 and whatever it is, county municipalities that we check daily for updates. Our records are updated daily. However, huge. The counties are not always updating daily. Of course, they might be updating once a month. Maybe somebody's more active than that. Maybe it's every month and a half or 2 months. So as you type in the property, it auto fills in the legal description, the parcel ID, you name it. You know, we gather that information and we auto populate just to save you a little bit of time. So you don't have to type in every darn thing on there. And those are just great ways. Nice. And then you put in your terms. If you want to sell it and you say, hey, I got to have a sale and, it's a 45-day closing or 30-day closing or 12-day or 10-day or whatever you want. Also, you can put, if you want $5,000 earnest money, then you select that. You put all of your terms in.
So you say, this is what I want. Like, this is basically what you need to deliver to me.
Absolutely.
And if you get it on a platter, well, like you said, you're at the pool, you're at the beach, here you go. We just got an offer. And it's exactly what we said we wanted because you have it all laid out there, basically.
Right. And that's awesome. Don't even have to react. You can let it ride. So today you just posted your property. You got one offer. Now you have 2 offers. Now you have 3 offers. Now you have 4 offers. And now you can go back when you're not at the beach, but it sure makes you feel good being out with your family and knowing that, hey, I got a couple offers here. When I get back tonight or later today, I'm going to go in and kind of really take a look at these offers and see what I got for offers and then make a decision then. And one of the things that we've added is this dependability rating. And dependability rating, I guess, is a life. To me, it's I'm 55. So it's a life. It's almost like
42, man. Especially when you're driving a jet ski.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, man.
Well, one of the wisdom things, if I could pass this along, whether you're dating or you're hiring a painter, you're hiring a plumber, you're buying a property, you're selling a property, you're doing what to me is one of the most key things in life is just dependability. So if somebody says they're going to
100%.
do something or commits to something, are they going to do what they say? And
Mm-hmm.
so I realized how important that was. And in my short time wholesaling some properties, there was quite a few people who told me they were going to buy and they did. And it was just really devastating for me. And my wife said, you really put too much faith in some people because you don't really know, and you don't know what happened to people and behind the scenes. But
Mm-hmm.
what's really kind of key is that I had a super, super wealthy Dubai client guy that said, I want to buy all these properties. And I would jump hoops and I would say, put deals in front of him. And he would say, yeah, I'll take it. And I wouldn't show it to anyone. And then next thing you know, he didn't buy them. And I talked to other people and they said, yeah, that's how that guy is. And I said, oh, shit, I
Mm-hmm.
wish I would have known that because I guess other people had worked with them. And he says, I have so much money, I could buy whatever I want. And I was so excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
When really that's not what to be excited about. I'd rather have the small guy or gal that's new in the business. They're so committed to finding a property. They found it, and hell or high water, they're closing on it. They have everything in place. I would much rather sell my property to that person who is more dependable than somebody who is, a freewheel. Maybe they're buying it, maybe they're not. And to them, it's not a big deal. I'd rather have somebody who really is a
Totally.
person of their word. And I think that goes for whether you have hiring a babysitter or even somebody to pick you up to take you to the airport. Imagine they're supposed to come take you to your flight and they don't show up. I mean, it's like to them, it's, oh, big deal. So I didn't pick you up. Well, no, I
Yeah,
missed
it's a
my
big
flight,
deal.
you know.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of the things I added into the software as I built it was really designed to really eliminate some of the big pain points that I felt as I flipped and bought and sold some properties. And
It's
didn't
good.
do a huge number, but I've done a pretty good fair amount of transactions.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was able to, and how this all really came about is I had somebody ask me, they want to buy 3,000 building lots. And
Wow.
yeah, and so I
Like,
ended
okay,
up,
let me find those for you.
yeah, so I ended up doing it. I ended up
Mm-hmm.
putting that deal together, but I realized how painful that is because you have to source properties from all kinds of people. And
Mm-hmm.
and what I realized is when I reached out to, 50 or 100 different wholesalers, I said, hey, if you have properties in this area, message me. Oh my gosh, I got stuff on napkins. I got properties in text,
Jesus.
one after another. I had a guy
Yeah.
at like 2 o'clock in the morning start texting me all the properties he had for sale, all the addresses,
Oh my
but
God.
it was 2 o'clock in the morning. And my
Yeah.
wife was like, what in the world? Who is texting you at 2 o'clock in the morning? And it wasn't just like one, it was like ding, ding, ding,
Ding, ding, ding, ding, ding,
ding.
ding, ding.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Now you're gonna get
uh,
in trouble. And what's going on here, right?
yeah, so I
Yeah.
realized that as I kind of picked up all the pieces from this really messy situation,
Mm-hmm.
that most people had them on, everyone had a little different format. Nobody used like a database or a whatever. And then as I collaged all these properties in, I had to give them to the end client to buy them.
Mm.
And they have to do some due diligence and some research and they want to,
Yeah.
and so what happened is as I sent these lists of, 100, 200, 300 at a time, what happened is they would come back and they would highlight it. I'd put them on a spreadsheet because I'm a software guy. So I'm like converting them into Excel and
Yeah.
I'm typing. And my wife's like, oh my gosh, like you're a software guy. Why don't you just magically put it in? I'm like, unfortunately, I can't really do that. Everyone's got a different format.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided, well, geez, if I created a database that would allow people to go on and post their own properties, upload their own Excel, they can put them in Excel and pass them into the system. That would really be helpful because one of the big pain points I also came across was that there were a lot of people that when I called them a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks later, they couldn't really tell me if they still had that property or not. They didn't
Wow.
really know. They said,
That's
"Oh, geez,
horrible.
let me see if I still have that one." Okay, no, I sold that one, and they're looking and they're going back through their records and trying to figure it out. So I thought, wouldn't it be really awesome if I created a database that would allow people to put their own properties in? They could share them with me, and instead of me, because I'm a little lazy, right? So I'm 55, so I've
Smart. Not lazy,
learned some
smart.
tricks, right? So I
Yeah,
learned
yeah.
some tricks, and I said, if I could get these sellers to list their property, and I could get my buyer to look at the list that was aggregated, they could pick their own lots. And then if I added in like Google Street Maps and I added in some other Street View and things like that,
Mhm.
they could do their own due diligence. They could make a pretty quick decision. And if I could preload or have the system load, when you load an address in, if you could load all of the details about the property and all that, and we could link
Mhm.
it to Google Street View, man, you could really, a team of people in an acquisition office could really find the properties they really want to target, and they
Mhm.
could actually just click them on their favorites, and they could add all their favorites in, and the seller would know, hey, somebody added this property as a favorite. So that would kind of alert them, hey, I got some interest in my property.
Right.
And then we add the contract in, and now they just go through and go bing, 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 and offer, offer,
So this
offer.
was all basically how to take this opportunity you had, throw it in your lap and say, okay, this is great, but this is a lot of legwork. And how do I take all this legwork and make it something simpler, kind of just for that one particular deal, which really is now going to be thousands of deals. And you have that system. That's pretty much the idea of it.
Yes,
That
absolutely.
is so awesome.
And
That is
and so
killer.
after I built the software, this is probably the most prolific, fun, great example, right? So
Uh-huh.
I built the software and I'm working with my development team. And every time I put some properties in, which is taking me a little bit of time because I'm still typing all the stuff in.
Hmm.
And they're my guys in the office are using the lots that I'm loading, they're using them as
Oh
like
yeah.
test dummies, test data to
Uh-huh.
test the system.
Yeah.
So I get on to Zoom and I go, hey everyone, listen, put in your own properties because the ones I put in, I don't want anyone in our office messing with because I've actually got some live lots. I'm trying to list some live lots and I have about 500 live lots. And I've gruelingly put these in for my client.
Yeah.
And you guys are using my stuff as test dummies and it's really getting frustrating. So I said, please don't use them. So they said, okay, great. We won't do it. We'll put our own properties in for testing. And I said, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And so I was really excited because I have a guy with, maybe like 2,000 lots that says, here's a list of 500. Go ahead and start with those. And I'm interested and curious to see how your system works. So
Hmm.
go ahead, take my properties and put them in there. So I put them in, I did everything. And I invited a few guys from Tampa, Florida, and a couple girls and guys. And, I was asking people, hey, go on and just take a peek, see what you can see. So everything was good. About 3 days in, all my properties are marked sold. And I'm like, okay, my programmers, I'm going to wring their necks. These guys are
Yeah.
making me mad. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
You got to talk to him
I
about
call
this.
my office and I'm like, hey, you guys, we had this whole conversation. I put all these 500 lots in and there's all of them are marked sold. And I said, somebody's hit the wrong data button. Something's going on. What did you guys do? Please check it. And so about a half an hour later, I get a Zoom, chime back in. We get
Hmm.
on and they're like, yeah, we didn't do that. It's this guy from Tampa, Florida went on there and he clicked them and he's got buying them all. And I go, oh, I know who that guy is. He's my friend. I'm going to call him. He's just must be testing it. He's playing with it too. So I
Yeah.
asked a couple people to play with it. So I call this guy, Jordan,
Hmm.
and I said, Jordan, listen, you clicked all these as you're buying them. That's really fun and everything. But, if you're going to mess with it, I'll give you a couple test properties. He goes, oh, what? I can't buy property. And I said, no, you can buy property. Which one do you want? He said, I want all of them. And I go, all of them. And he goes, yep, I want every one of these properties. So I went, holy crap. So he,
Like, so it's actually working like in front of my face. I just didn't really know it.
yeah. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, my contracting portion's not complete yet. And I've got some
Yeah.
software elements still not complete. So it was like very, very exciting to know that this guy went through in the middle of the night. He couldn't sleep and he'd been looking for building lots. He's going to build about 5,000 homes in Florida. And he was just looking for building lots. And these were a really great price. City
Mhm.
water, city sewer with power, $15,000 a lot.
Oh my God.
And they're all cleared.
Oh my God.
Um, so anyway, so
That's
he ended up
insane.
buying them all, and so it was really exciting for me. Even though our software wasn't completely finished, it was exciting to see that, here's a guy that, does this every day, who really loved he really loved, the whole process. And he said, this is really slick. I really like it. Can you get more lots on there? And I said, yeah, I'm going to get more lots
I'll
on there.
find some. By the
So
way,
that's
I might have a
really,
few. If he's still buying, I might have a few. We can connect with him.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. He
Yeah.
definitely is. So,
Cool.
but it's interesting because the platform is going to allow people to really share, what they're doing and how they're doing it and everything else. So that's really the exciting part for me, is if I can help somebody, get on the platform, find some deals or sell something.
Mhm.
I had a young guy I met at a like a birthday party in Tampa. It was one of the real estate guys. And I went to this party, and really, 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 this guy Carlos, and he's a young mover and shaker. And he called me up one day and said, hey, I don't know if you remember me. This is Carlos. We met at this party in Tampa. And I said, yeah, I do remember you. And he said, well, listen, you know a lot of people. He said, I have about 20 investors that I use to sell when I buy a property in Tampa. I reach out and I have about 20 pretty solid investors that I work with regularly. And when I find a property, I typically blast it out to these 20 guys and somebody buys it. And I said, okay, how can I help you? And he said, well, you know so many more people than I do in different, like, you don't know my 20, but you know so many other people. I have
Mhm.
a couple properties that I can't sell because I don't, all my people have bought what they're going to buy, and they're kind of at the moment not whatever, but I need to sell this property.
Mhm.
Could you, maybe network me a little bit? And I said, sure. And I said, darn, I wish that my platform was really up for you, because I would love to see you post a property and have it in front of, 2, 3 million eyeballs, where you could get a buyer for it. And
Mhm.
so and he said, yeah, I'm just waiting for you to get that done. But if in the meantime you could reach out. So I reached out to like 7 or 8 people that I knew.
Mhm.
I don't know if he ever sold it or not, but that really drives home how the platform's going to really help people expand their reach without,
Absolutely.
I mean, you really have to have a lot of marketing and networking. And there might be somebody in Michigan right now that wants to buy some of the properties that I have, or maybe they're in Texas or maybe California or Ohio or wherever. And so for me, I think this is just going to be a great way to kind of, every coaching group can let their student body know,
Mhm.
their investors, investment clubs, and that kind of thing. Everyone can kind of join in, and it doesn't cost you any money. So hey, why not check it out? But we're hoping to be the marketplace.
Dude, I freaking love this. I love this, love this, love this. So, can I kind of fire some questions at you that I know
Yep. Go ahead. Go ahead.
people definitely have? So, what about, and this is a little bit selfishly, this is kind of more my question versus I know other questions that we'll have too. But what if someone is looking for something and it's not there yet? Like they're a buy and hold landlord and they want a certain part of town or a certain cash flow or a certain, right? They want something and it's maybe not there yet. Is there a wants list or a needs list that they can get notified, or is there anything like that?
Yep. It's a great question. And it's probably the most powerful element of this whole software platform.
Yeah.
Because exactly what you said, you have a certain buy box, you have a certain property that you want to buy, or you're looking for that really fits your needs. and you're so dialed in that you know exactly what you want and where, what part of town and all that. So what you can do is you can go on the platform. We have a kind of like I guess it's a buy box. It's an alert kind of page. And
Okay.
what you can do is you can set up all kinds of alerts. You can say, I'm looking for Florida. I'm looking for residential. I'm looking for 3-bed, 2-bath
Mhm.
home in this price range and or no price range. Just I'm looking at anything in that area. I'm looking for a multifamily property in Texas, in this zip code. And you can build all these like line items. And
Mhm.
what'll happen is two things are going to happen. Number one, as those properties come available, you're going to get an instant alert to your phone saying,
Nice.
like, let's say literally, I just posted exactly what you were looking for.
Yeah.
You're going to get an alert the minute I click the enter button. You are that quickly going to be alerted that
That's
that property
awesome.
is out there, right? So it's a
Bam,
very
here it is. It's open. It's
real
there.
time. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
real time thing.
Wow.
The other thing we're going to do is we are going to aggregate I call it a hot sheet, right?
Mhm.
So a hot sheet will be starting at the top. These are the top city, state, zip that people are looking for.
Mhm.
And this is the top product. Like the top number one thing is let's say, just because Cape Coral, I'm
Yeah.
just making this up, but Cape Coral, Florida, Cape Coral, 3-bedroom, 2-bath house,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
that's going to be, and now we're not going to say who's looking because our system is really not geared to, nobody cares about Mark Kole, me. Nobody cares about me. If I have no properties to sell, I'm not relevant today because I don't have any properties to buy or sell. I don't have any money to buy anything today, and I don't have any properties to sell. So you probably don't want to call me today because I'm not in the market for anything. And so what we did to combat that is we really gear it on the property. So our whole focus is not on the individual.
Mhm.
Well, Jesse, you're an awesome guy. If you don't have anything to buy or sell today,
Yeah.
I love you, man, but I'm probably not going to call you if I'm on a limited time schedule. I'm
Yeah.
trying to find a buyer for my property. Not that I'm desperate, but I'm really searching hard because I'm really on some timelines here. I certainly don't want to spend the first 20 phone calls calling people that are not in the market to either buy it or sell it. And so,
Sure. Tire
well,
kickers, and they don't have money, or they're not looking till maybe springtime or next fall or whatever
yeah,
it is, right?
yep,
You want
exactly.
people who are want it right now, and they want that criteria, and they've got cash. They've got. Can you do financing with this? Does it have to be cash or financing?
I'm building in the finance module right now. I
Okay.
have a couple of lenders, and I'm interested if any lenders are out there in the audience listening, would be super interested in working together. I would like to almost build a
Can help you out.
module, if you will, a
Hmm.
lot like say hotels.com, where when you go and click the lender button, I would love to have 20 lenders pop up with their logos, their rates, their terms, their criteria. And then if you like, it's like when I go to look for a hotel, I'm going to an event, I
Hmm.
look and go, okay, Panama Beach, what do you got? And I can look at the hotels, I can look at the price, I can look at the rooms, I can look at all that, and they can select it. And so what I'd love to do on our platform, and we're kind of working on it now, we have it partially built, but
Hmm.
I'm going to have it so that on that particular property, a whole network of lenders will pop up. And so, for instance, some lenders don't loan in Texas, or they don't loan in California, or they don't loan a certain thing, or they don't loan a certain type of property. So some
Hmm.
people just do commercial, some people do multifamily, some do
Hmm.
residential. So I'm going to filter those for you.
Hmm.
So there's no guesswork. You're not going to call some lender and say, "Oh, hey, I saw your phone number on here," and they're like, "Sorry, buddy, we don't do residential, or we don't do commercial."
Yeah.
So I'm going to skew that out so that for that
That's
particular
awesome.
property, we have that. And when you click the button, it's not only going to send them like, "Hey, I'm interested." It's going to say, Jesse Mills is looking at 105 Main Street, Sarasota, Florida, priced at this price, and he's interested in getting financing on that particular deal today. And so
That's
because we
awesome.
already have that information gathered.
Hmm.
It sure helps the lender understand, hey, you're looking at 105 Main Street, Sarasota, Florida. We lend in that area. I know the property. And they may already have an opinion on it to say, on something like that, we could definitely loan XYZ amount or something like that. So we're trying to do as much preparation to help
Hmm.
you make it as smooth of a transaction as possible.
Yeah.
And as we build this platform, we're not even looking to get paid from the lenders. We're not, this isn't a pay to play, like you're only going to see somebody because they paid some fee. And so it's a whole sellout to, the platform. We're
Right.
really looking to find really amazing partners to get in this program so that we can build some really cool tool that's going to help people. We'll monetize it later. I mean, the monetization will come.
Hmm.
It's like Facebook when it first started. No one's charging you. The Facebook is free. So, hey, everyone joined and it's a huge network. And eventually they started monetizing it. But it really, to me, it really is like not serving the group if we just do everything pay to play, because we might have a really great lender and they don't really know, it's hard to charge somebody a fee when they don't really understand what am I going to get? Who's going to ask me? What type of customer? So we really want to roll this thing out, get a
Hmm.
bunch of great lenders on there, get some feedback. And certainly if some lender's just not really a good fit for our group, then we want to say, hey, thanks, but no thanks. And
Hmm.
and not make it like all pay for play, kind of thing. We want to make it really focused on how do we really get some great tools in there so that the reason you go to the platform is convenience. They have all these great vendors, they got great easy contracting. You can upload your own contract if you want, use your own contract when you make an offer or whatever. And so
Hmm.
all these things kind of come to play. And that's really where our mind is at with it.
Yeah, I love it, man. So you just want to make it super easy and convenient for people, and really, I mean, you're thinking about all the different challenges and all the different sticking points in the process and how you can take that out of there and remove that or just make it easier, make it faster, make it more seamless if you can, which is just killer. So if you have people looking for stuff, they're not, you wouldn't know Jesse Mills wants blah blah like a 3-3 in this part of town and this, you wouldn't know that I want that. But would the algorithms kind of know that? Like what if I wanted to go reverse engineer this and go find that? Right? What if I'm a wholesaler and I want to go market my area and say, right now there's 10 people looking for a single family like this, and I want to go try to find that. Is that kind of possible too then do this?
Yeah, you can find yep, so you can do a search on the system and you
Uh-huh.
can find properties that fit that description
But what if you
to
don't have the property yet? What if you want to go get the property?
yeah.
Like as a wholesaler to go find
Oh,
it from the
oh
seller
yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
I know I've got
So
these three
I know what
people
you're
and
talking about.
yeah, yeah.
We're gonna publish a hot sheet.
Uh-huh.
It's gonna be on there, and a hot sheet is essentially hot areas, hot cities,
Gotcha.
what people are looking for. And it's not gonna say, okay, these
Yeah.
25 people want it, but what it is
Yeah.
going to say is there's 500 people looking for a 4-bedroom, 3-bedroom, 2-bath home in Austin, Texas for a fix and flip,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So what we're going to do is we're going to say 300 people are looking for a fix and flip, another 100 people are looking for investment property, and the balance of people are looking for whatever, just in maybe undescribed, so that we can kind of identify. So if you get this hot sheet, you're a wholesaler and you're out and somebody calls you and says, hey Jesse, I have 4 houses in this market. You can literally pop on that hot sheet and you can say, wow, it doesn't look like anyone is looking in Waukesha, Michigan. So I'm probably not going to go real heavy on my pricing. I'm not going to be super aggressive on pricing. But if
Yeah.
you see that there's 6,000 people on this platform or 25,000 people having their buy box, Austin, Texas, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and this zip code,
Yeah.
you're going to say, and somebody calls you, you're going to say, wow, and we're going to give you the average price in there. It's going to help you really make a determination when you're buying those properties, how heavy or how light you should go. My thought is, if we can kind of supply you with a little bit of what the demand is,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to help you when somebody calls you or they want to borrow money. A perfect example: somebody wants to work together with you. I don't have all the money. So I call my friend Jesse and I said, Jesse, I really need you because I want to buy this house and I don't have all the money. And I'm buying in Waukesha, Michigan. And you see, wow, I'm not going to loan real heavy on that because,
Yeah.
there's not a lot of demand there. But if I have a house in as I mentioned, Austin, Texas,
Mm-hmm.
you might go, wow, there's a huge amount of demand. I'll go a little heavy on this. I like Mark. He's a good guy. I feel like it's a pretty solid deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, Jess, I really need just need you go just a little pinch over what I need. But that market's super strong. You're going to say, all right, I'll go a little heavy on that because it's a nice property. You fixed everything. I'm willing to go a little more than I normally would because it is such a hot market. If I get stuck with that property, that's a no-brainer. I can turn and burn and get out of that deal. And those
Yeah.
are the kinds of things I want to arm
Really
our
helps you through buying decisions
yeah.
and what to
And
look for and what to seek out.
and these are just things that to me, if I can help people really leverage all the different data elements,
Mm-hmm.
and again, most companies are selling those features there. And hey, listen, that's great business, but I'm a new up and coming. I want to build the largest off market network in the entire globe that can allow
Awesome.
people, and I want to do it for free. I mean, hey, I would do it for free, but my wife won't let me. I saw that
Right.
on a car dealership thing, and the guy said,
Yeah.
I'd give away the cars, but my wife won't let me. So I think that's a really cool thing because it just shows people's intention. And
Mm-hmm.
I really want people to get on this. I mean, hey, we're going to do really great. If you get on here and you find a property, you pay a technology fee for processing the offer and the whatever, but it's onto the buyer. And so it's $1,000 flat fee. If it's a $500,000 house, $1,000. If it's a $500 building lot, it's $1,000. So it's just this flat fee. It's not related to the brokerage or anything like that. It's strictly a fee based on
So the
using
seller
our
doesn't pay
process.
anything. The buyer doesn't pay a membership or anything or an activation fee or anything to get on it. You
Right.
can look for free. You can be on as much as you want. It's not a membership, but every time you buy, it's just $1,000 flat fee. The buyer pays.
Yes.
Yeah,
And that's
and
a
and it,
technology fee,
sure. Well,
gateway
you have a
fee.
lot going on.
Yeah, and it really is really focused on paying for the technology
Mm-hmm.
related to not only processing the offer and the acceptance portion,
Uh-huh.
but it's also for processing and providing the contracting, providing also when we pass that over to the title company. What's really cool as the title company, and I'm kind of typing virtually here, but
Yeah.
as a title company processes that title work,
Uh-huh.
it's automatically posting real-time updates to the platform against that particular property account. So that you always know what stage the property's in. And you can pay your earnest money or EMD money. You can pay that online using our ACH system. I think
Wow.
it's $8 or something, which is the exact fee, or $9, whatever it costs. There's a fee from the processing company because they do real time ACH, which is unheard of. It's called Payload is the name of the company.
Okay.
It's like a credit card processing company, but they're very focused on real estate. I met them at a title event
Hmm.
called NS3, I think it is. It's put on by October Publishing, and
Okay.
they're really leaders in the space of kind of association for title companies. And I went to one of their events, and I met this Payload. The guy's name is Zach. Super, super awesome guy. But what he explained to me is, and I discovered this as a software developer, I used all kinds of different platforms to do processing of credit cards. The
Mm-hmm.
biggest problem I found was that if somebody went on and did an ACH to you for $500, it takes about 4 days for that money to come out of their account, right? And so in four
Yeah.
days, a lot can happen. I mean,
Absolutely.
let me tell you, I have a young family. I mean, when I had a young family, you go, wow, I have the money to do it. And then, I don't know, a week, later, wife buys something, you buy something, you have a bill come up, something gets auto drafted out of your account. Now that check basically kind of comes as an overdraft and it gets kind of returned or whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
that's not a really great situation with a title company. So what this company does, Payload,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's called payload.co. I think is
Okay.
their web address, but
Okay.
really great people. What they do is they do this instant ACH that they immediately lock that $500 the minute that you click the button and
Mm-hmm.
you do the payment. It guarantees the payment to you. So
Wow.
anybody in real estate that needs an EMD money or a payment or deposit or something,
Mm-hmm.
they guarantee you that $500 is there, you know. But realistically, with most other ACHs,
Yeah.
it's really not, you know, you got this false sense of confidence like, oh, wow, the person just processed. I just got an email. But realistically, they haven't taken the money out of that person's account. And I did a lot of testing while we were doing this because,
It's a great point because
you know,
you think you're good, but you might not be good,
right.
right? Yeah.
And for
And
nine
that can
bucks,
make a big difference on, it just takes one transaction for that to happen, and especially a big one, right? And then all of a sudden it's a different story.
yeah, especially if you do an assignment fee and you take
Absolutely.
a 5,000 bucks or something, and now you're like, all right, we got 5,000. You sign the assignment over, you message it, and 4 days later,
Mm-hmm.
sorry, this person didn't have the money. That could be really devastating, especially to a family. You know, my understanding about the business, and again, I'm not expert in this industry at all. I'm a kind of a newbie guy, but I'm a software developer, and I built this really to help me because I'm not the smartest guy in the room kind of thing, and I really wanted to
Pretty
have a
smart dude.
tool. Well, thanks. I wanted to have a tool that would allow me to be compliant with the rules. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to be able to find properties. I wanted to be able to post properties for sale. And I
Mm-hmm.
wanted a foolproof way to buy and sell properties in other states, other cities, other areas that I didn't really know the rules. And I couldn't afford a real estate attorney to, oh, let me call a real estate attorney in Texas and see what the rules are. And where do you
Right.
find the contracts? And by law, how many days do I have for this? And how many days for that? And how much money do I have to pay? And there was so many unanswered questions that I wanted to really build a foolproof tool that could help somebody really navigate the process.
Mm-hmm.
And my handwriting's not great. So I love the
Hey,
fact that this thing would autofill the contract for you.
we have
So
that
these are all,
in common.
yeah.
Yeah.
So those were things that, those were things that were important to me, that
Mm-hmm.
if I could process something very quickly,
Mm-hmm.
if I could sell something and have it come as a text and say, hey, here's an offer, because
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to field, phone calls till 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the morning from 50 different people. You post a property and now people have your cell phone number and now they solicit you for chimney cleaning and roof cleaning and, hey, do you want me to come in and replace your carpets? And I mean, because let's face it, not every, I mean, people are soliciting me at 9 o'clock at
Oh
night
my
for like,
God.
hey, you want me to pressure wash your house? And I'm like, what house?
Yeah. What
Oh,
are you
the
talking
house
about?
on, 104 Main Street that you have for sale. I'm like, okay, where did you get my number? And they got it from someplace I posted a property for sale. And it's
Yeah.
this open invitation for people to call you and solicit you for all kinds of stuff.
Oh,
So
Jesus. Get
if you
sold
like
out.
your, yeah, and if you like your privacy,
Mm-hmm.
and I had one client, this guy from Dubai, he was having me sell some stuff for him, and he said, Mark, I don't want anyone to call me. I don't want any BS. If you want to buy my property, put it in writing. Give me a contract. And I'd say, well, I really want you to meet this guy. He's a mover and shaker. He's like, I don't care. I
Yeah.
just
Like, doesn't matter.
I'm going to fill out a contract. I don't like tire kickers. And I said, no, this guy's a good guy. Listen, Mark, don't waste my time. Send me a contract. Other than that, have a great day. Don't call me. I'll call you. And and he says, when you sell these properties, I'll give you some more you can buy from me. So I put them under contract and whatnot. But it's just funny because some people are just, they've been in the business. They don't want tire kickers. They don't want,
No.
put it in writing, send me a contract. If I accept the contract, send me my earnest, not send the earnest money to that gentleman, send that earnest money to the title company, which is
Yeah.
where this is tied into. So you're safe. You're safe because it's a licensed title company. Your money is safe. That kind of thing. So
Now, one of the things I was going to ask you is, so how, and I know you have something in place for this, right? But how do you ensure that you don't get the daisy chain thing going on where I saw it on Craigslist for 150 and I marking up for 160 and I don't even have any contracts, and then someone else sees it for 160 and they add another 10 grand, right? How do you know that it's with the right person who actually has the contract and it can't get marked up like that?
right. So what we do is, number one, none of the contracts on our system are assignable. You can't reassign. Now you can put a property that you have under contract and you can put that on assignment because
Okay.
we offer the assignment contract in our system.
Okay.
However, you can't locate a property on our platform
Mm-hmm.
and then reassign it.
Gotcha.
One of the things that we realize is that there are a lot of daisy chainers, we call them, and whatnot, and people who are doing that. And so what we did is we said, okay, as you go through the process and you're uploading a property, we have some very simple questions we ask you. One of them is, do you own the property? Are you an agent for the property? Meaning, do you have power of attorney, or somehow you're an agent of it? Or are you assigning this contract? So you
Gotcha.
can assign a contract that you get from someone else. So if you find it
Sure.
somewhere else, you put it under contract, you can resell that property on our platform as an assignment, as long as the state, now here's the catch, some states don't allow assignment,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
So bingo, we got you covered, because
So they're
if
doing
you
double
don't know
clause.
certain states don't allow that, we're
Yeah.
going to tell you. So the button's going to say, are you the current owner? Are you the agent? Are you assigning it? If it's a state that doesn't allow assignment, because we already
Mm-hmm.
know the address, we're saying we're graying that out, saying this state does not allow assignment. You know,
Gotcha. So
um,
you're already ahead of that. That's awesome.
so we're what we're trying to do is make you as compliant as possible to really help you kind of stay ahead of the curve. And while some people are educated about it, other people may not be. So
Mm-hmm.
what we want to do is make it pretty foolproof. So with that situation, if you're the owner of the property,
Mm-hmm.
we're then saying, okay, you identify yourself as the owner. So we then feed in, the next screen is basically all of your credentialing, your ownership, your name, your phone number, but we pull that directly from the county records. So we have that auto populated in. Now you can modify it. So we're
Mm-hmm.
not locking you into that, but we're auto feeding in, saying if you say you're the owner,
Yeah.
we're auto feeding it in. But if it just happened to not update, you can update that information. And we're saying, by penalty of perjury of law, you're acknowledging that you are the owner and you're whatever, which will get caught by the title company anyway.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
second thing is the agent. So if you're an agent, you have to upload proof that you are representing the property.
Okay.
And then the third item is, if you don't own the property, but you're going to assign it or sell it or double close it or whatever, you identify, no, I'm not the owner, but I have it under contract. And so those are basically the elements. So if you go to a state that doesn't allow assignment, we're saying, great, you have to, by Texas or whatever law,
Mm-hmm.
you have to double close this property. And so then we need a copy of the A to B contract, but
Mm-hmm.
not for us, not for our platform. We're just preloading it, so you have it in there. So you've got to upload a copy of the contract,
Mm-hmm.
and you're identifying the price you want, all the kind of criteria and the time frames. But we're asking you on your A to B contract, what's your closing date? What date do you have to close by? So we can then built in the calculation to say, okay, that has to now become your actual closing date. So if you
Sure.
have 30 days and you already spent 10 of it before you post it, you got 20 days left to close on this property.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
your new closing date becomes 20 days. And you then can
It's a good
select,
check.
I want $1,000 or $5,000 or $10,000 earnest money deposit. That
Mm-hmm.
may be the amount of money that you need to clear your deal or whatever, the amount of money you want to make. So if somebody, then you assign it to them, if it's an assignment situation, they send the $10,000 EMD money and they don't meet the closing, doesn't matter. You made what you were going to make anyway, So there are just some safety nets that we've built in. We're trying to do that. And the other thing is, as we get more users, we're going to be keeping our ear to the ground. We want to build the best mousetrap, and no idea is a stupid idea. Everyone's got ideas. Everyone's got things that they're going to say, hey, what if this? What if that? And we're going to put them on our list, and we're going to, kind of vet through all of the list to make sure that we're kind of always keeping our ear to the ground. And you never know what's going to be really important to somebody that a lot of people didn't really think of yet,
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I love that you're getting all that feedback from everybody, and a lot of different people do have different things that are important to them. And they've, like you said, they've been burned in the process before on a deal or a transaction that didn't happen. And so, yeah, if you can find all those little missing things with each thing, then, you should be pretty good at keeping it, always making sure that everything is, as it should be, and not missed.
One of the things I noticed as I kind of scroll through the internet and whatnot, I see a lot of people promoting these Amazon stores. So a lot of average people are setting up Amazon stores and they're making $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 a month. And so wouldn't it be cool if you're in real estate and you had a free kind of account under the Home Solutions marketplace? So they go on your marketplace, and then they sign up for a free account, which costs them nothing. They get to create their own personal domain name. So what's cool about that is I'm Mark. So if I was Mark's Wholesale or just Mark Kole, it would be markkole.homesolutionmarketplace.com. And so what's cool about that is that becomes this absolutely free, unique, personal Zillow, if you will, that you give them, that you're giving anybody who's listening today, anyone who's influenced by you, anyone who knows you, here's this message. They don't even have to really know you or follow you or anything. If they go in and sign up, or they tell a friend, you can tell all your friends about it and say, hey, you could have your own free marketplace account, and they could go on and so it could be Paradise Realty dot, because the way our system builds it is because it's your marketplace, Home Solutions marketplace.net. If they go there, they can actually set up their own free account, which then gives them their own personal Zillow. We auto create that using the software. Auto creates it. They can pick their own logo, their own phone numbers, their own color schemes, all that. So they have their own public facing miniature site, and kind of I'm a very animated person. So if you turn to the public side, you have your own little mini website where all the properties that are in your account that are what we call my properties, I could then show them on my own personal pages. Now I can also turn the opposite way to buy and sell wholesale. So I can buy and sell wholesale, but I can now turn my other side, and I can go on my other part of my free account that you give them, and they can have their own miniature Zillow where they can post properties, and properties are visible and they appear just like Zillow, but it's their own personal page. So
interesting.
Yeah,
that's very cool.
It was something that I decided to do because I used to build websites for people, and I thought to myself, a lot of people may not, my wife is one of those. She's not a tech person. She doesn't really enjoy the tech. She gets super frustrated, super fast. She doesn't want a lot of buttons and whatnot. So again, if you go in and you select your color scheme and it's blue and green or whatever, blue and light blue or something, and your logo, you can post your logo in your profile. You can pick your color scheme. You can set your domain name. So again, if you're Mark's Wholesale, I would be Mark's Wholesale Home Solution Marketplace.net, and on your platform. And so
they'll be seeing my properties and your properties then?
Well, you're seeing just my properties
Okay.
and I can turn them on or off. I can toggle them on or off. So let's say I have 10 properties
Mm-hmm.
in my profile, which
Mm-hmm.
is in my back office or behind the scenes, but I want to show 5 of these because I really want to retail these 5 products. And
Mm-hmm.
I have my own customers. So I don't want to sell them wholesale because I got some of my own personal customers that I know are looking. I can then toggle those to show them on my personal spot, on my personal page.
Mm-hmm.
So I can toggle them on. 5 of them I want to sell retail. I can toggle them on. Now I can send out e-blasts to my own personal, very personal, great buyers, great investors. They always pay a little bit more than other people because they want turnkey properties. And so what they can do is they can promote to send out an email saying Mark's Wholesale dot home solutions dot net or
Mm-hmm.
marketplace.net. And then what happens is when they get the email, they go to that personal page that they're not paying any hosting. They don't pay anything for it. And now they can offer the properties for sale right there, and their customers can see them. They can click to buy them direct, and that whole process happens directly between
Wow.
the student and whoever customer they want. What I found is a lot of people have pet buyers. They have buyers that
Mm-hmm.
will buy first from them. Well, if they can't
Mm-hmm.
sell them there, now they can post them wholesale because they get their best margins on the personal buyers, but they can then also, so there's two kind of toggle switches. One says, hey, show this on my personal site, and the other one says, hey, put this on the global marketplace. Um,
Gotcha.
so you can turn them both off and nobody can see the property except for you because you just bought it. You're not really ready.
It's got
But
different phases of where you're at with it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and so it gives you some opportunity. I know a couple people, their plan is they're going to show all the properties to their personal clients first. So they're
Mm-hmm.
not even going to flip on the global marketplace. They're going to just flip it all on their own personal site. They're going to give it a week. If it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't sell, they're going to leave it on there, but then they're going to then click the wholesale button, to global marketplace. And
Yeah. Yeah.
now it's available to anyone in the world, anywhere in the world that's looking. And so
Wow.
that's going to be really kind of cool. And so all the students, all the people that you work together with, friends, investors,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, when they log on to your site or into their own account on your marketplace, they're going to be able to find and buy from other groups, other coaching groups, other students, basically this huge collage or aggregate of wholesalers out there in the world.
Yeah. That they can get in as well.
Yeah. So everyone can benefit from each other.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you and I might be fierce competitors, see each other at big mastermind events, and try to outdo each other on how many students we have and how great your group is and my group is better, and whatever,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
all the fun little banter that goes on.
Yeah.
But in all reality, if I have buyers and your students, if my group have some buyers in it, and your group
Mm-hmm.
has some sellers, you're
Mm-hmm.
going to actually benefit from me, from my student
Oh,
group,
totally.
like I'm benefiting from your student group.
Mm-hmm.
And while it's all in fun, and I know you have so many great friendships, I watch you interact with so many awesome people at the mastermind there in
Oh, thanks, man. You too.
over in Amelia Island. And
Yeah.
it was really neat for me to see, like when you were sitting around the fire and you were talking to Jason Palliser and all the different guys and girls that were there.
Mm-hmm.
I was really like amazed at how so many really great minds in real estate had so much fun together, but yet are I don't want to say direct competitors, but are in a way competitors. But it's neat to see you guys sit around and share ideas, and it almost seemed like you guys were all one company because everyone shared and everyone loved each other. Like everyone's like, oh man, this is great. Oh, that's a great idea, Jesse. And I just watched everyone interact, and I was really thought, wow, this is really cool for such a competitive group because everyone is trying to overachieve and everyone's super excited about what they do and how they do it. And
Yeah.
everyone's trying to network and everything. And I know you're looking out for your students. I mean, we had a great chance to talk, and I just know that you're really looking out to really help people build their businesses and all that. And so for me, bringing a tool like this to somebody like you is just really, it's a great opportunity for me to kind of share my knowledge, which is limited to really the software side of things, but to be able to help your students, people that are your friends, people that share ideas with you, and all the people in your group, to be a part of that is just really awesome for me as a software developer, especially when I get a great reaction. Because when you build anything, whether you're an artist or you just bought a house and you're excited and you share it with a couple people, and it's your first flip or your 50th flip or 500th flip, to share it with somebody and have 5 or 10 people that you talk to say, "Oh, wow, you bought that for that? Oh my gosh, you're going to do so great. What a cool house. Oh, I love your ideas. I love what you're going to do with it." The validation that happens at that moment, because it's a scary thing. I mean, like me, developing a software from scratch, putting my life savings into it, and to get validation from First American Title to say, "Wow, this is," from their acquisition team to say, "Wow, Mark, you really did a great job." That validation from the wholesaler level, from the student level, from a guy who just got in the business. I met a guy who just got in the business. I told him about the software, and he said, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing for me." For having every walk of life in this industry, hey, what a cool concept, what a cool tool that you've built, makes me really feel validated, like I really am on track when it's such a scary time where I've risked my family's, life savings to build out something like this. It really is a big validation. To get that positive feedback is really cool. And so I'm really excited to have it a part of, to roll it out to groups and stuff and have them really adopt it. Will be really amazing for me to see people do well with it. And just like with you, I think you told me about some people that you helped, and you helped them get into their house and they couldn't get into a house otherwise. And you have a really cool program that allows them to, like, even if they don't have the best credit or the greatest situation, you help them get in a house. And what an amazing feeling to, like, have somebody like you say, "You know what? I'll do that deal with you." That is like this amazing feeling. I know when my wife and I bought our house, and we were just so excited because the bank said, "Okay, you're approved." We're like, "Wow, all right." It was like,
You're
we're
so
so
pumped.
excited because we hadn't got the house yet, but we were like, "All right, somebody believes in us. Somebody's gonna be
Totally.
there for us. Somebody's got our back." That's really validating on so many
Yeah.
levels. As a human being, just as a person, to have somebody believe in you and say, "Hey, Mark, yeah, I like what you're doing, and I think that the people that I work with would love to know more about this." That is just so validating in so many ways, and I appreciate that from you, and that's been a great thing. So
Dude, I'm blessed to have you on here and our friendship. And when I first heard you speak about this, I'm like, that is a killer idea and concept. And people, I'm sure you know this, it's people have had similar ideas, but never really put it into practice and never really done it the way you're doing it with your brain and your creativity. And obviously anyone who's, watching and listening can tell how much you care and how sincere you are about it.